So you still believe that this is a secular bull market, and within the bull market, there is a corrective phase that's going on?
I would say so.
And you think this corrective phase can last long? Whether it's time correction leading to price correction, you think it could be a protracted period of correction?
See, next 2 or 3 quarters, certainly we don't see any big thing happening out here. Too many things are going on, too many moving parts. But if you tell me 2-3 years down the line, I think things will be okay for us. We just have to watch out on the numbers. Now, numbers are in the future. So let's see, when we talk about the GDP, what the number will be for next quarter, then next to next quarter. Is this like a sustained phase of 7% plus real? But now you see the problem in most of the economists after the 8% number which has come up. The issue is now that your nominal growth is not going up.
Correct.
Right? Because your inflation is at 0. So you are at 8%. Yeah. Right? Now you need 3-4% inflation for the nominal growth to go up to 11-12%. So these kind of things will keep happening. So next 2-3 quarters, I would say wait and watch. On the contrary, I would say keep accumulating. I mean, every time there is volatility, there is a correction of 3-4-5%. Just keep buying slowly, steadily. Keep some dry powder.
That has been the age-old method of creating wealth. I get it, that buy every dip and buy and hold, buy and sit tight, all of that. But in this market where everything is changing, as you said, right, nominal GDP is not picking up. On an average, this market has given you 11-12% returns in the last 10-20 years. Yeah. But if nominal GDP growth is not picking up, then is even that 11-12% questionable?
Yeah, see, if you go very, very conservative, very, very conservative. This is again I've learned from Ramdevji only. See, India has done in the last 25 years, India has grown at 9% USD terms, nominal. Right? So adjusted for rupee depreciation, inflation, all of these things, we have grown at 9%. Right? At 9%, in 2000, our economy was $440 billion. At 9%, in 25 years, we are $4 trillion. At 9%, and last 25 years, we've seen everything, whatever you can think of. If you just extrapolate 9% for next 25 years, it's 30 trillion. If we just grow at 9% in dollar terms.
The market, you're saying?
No, I'm just saying the GDP, and everything is connected to GDP.
Correct.
Unless the country doesn't grow, nothing will grow.
But if the market is giving me 9-10% over the next 10-20 years, why am I putting my money in stock markets? I'd rather put it in other asset classes. Just playing the devil's advocate here.
No, so let's put it this way, that let's put a chronology between GDP and then the earnings and then the price growth, right? Now, if you do a 9-10% GDP growth, see, this year is an exceptional year where inflation has come down. Eventually, inflation will come up to 3-4. We are a growing economy. With all this spending happening, I'm sure prices will move up at some day. On a longer term basis, even if you look at next 5 years, I would say we will see a nominal growth of 10-11% at least, translating into a 12-13% earnings. So if your country is growing at 10-11%, corporate India will grow at least 1 or 2% higher than the nominal growth of the country. And if the earnings growth is, let's say, 11-12% or let's say 13%, then the price growth should mirror. Like I said, growth is equal to return. So the price growth will mirror the earnings growth. So even on a 5-year or a 10-year basis, if we can clock a 10-11% nominal growth, which would be, let's say, 7% plus real GDP and 3% inflation. So 10% nominal we can do. Can result into, like I said, 12% on EPS, and then that will result into 13. So you're still looking at maybe 2.5-3 times higher return in equities than inflation, at least. I would be a strong
domestic growth, I agree, but export growth has been hit a lot because of the tariffs, etc. Right?
And which will get sorted, right? It's not going to be permanent.
Hopefully,
it will. See, we are also not succumbing to pressure. I mean, now let's go from a political perspective. If we just kind of succumb, many countries have succumbed to the pressure, and you give them everything, and you don't take anything, then there is a democracy out here. There is an opposition, there is a ruling party. You have to see that what message you are giving to our country. Will you like it to hear that we have given everything? We'll buy everything from them, and our farmers will be, sitting at home and, wondering what to do. So I think we will take our time. We are in a position to, squeeze a good deal. So I think let that play out. It's a matter of time. It was supposed to happen in November. People now talk about Christmas. Maybe it will take 3-4 months. I don't know. Till such time we are going to suffer. Till such time we will suffer. And that suffering will create opportunity. It's not going to be lifelong. It's not that we are. I mean, US also needs us, right? They import almost $80 billion from us, so they also need good products, good, and supply chains are getting set up here. I mean, you have Apple, which is supplying 30% of the global supply from India. It's not going to vanish away, right? So they're dependent out here. But yes, whatever time it's taking, but eventually it will be sorted out. And let's hope that it is a nice deal, beneficial to both the countries. Let me put it politically correct, So it will happen. And the moment it will happen, see, things will change. The day the deal is announced, maybe you'll see a 2-3% appreciation of the currency there and then. Now, will you plan for it before or after it has happened? Right? Suddenly things will start looking, suddenly your export numbers will go up, suddenly your trade deficit numbers will come down, current account deficit will ease out. That will have, good impact on the export companies. Macros will start looking much better than what we are seeing today. So now it's up to you whether you believe that will happen or you will not believe. Even if it doesn't happen, then something else will happen. I mean, we will have to do something to take care. I think government is coming up with some relief mechanisms or some extra incentive for the export companies. Reforms for export. Let's see what happens there. There are many countries which are backing us. I think we have the Russian president out here to see that how trade can be improved. There's hardly any trade we do apart from importing oil. If you see export, it's hardly anything. I think maybe over $10 billion or something like that. Can we take that up? The ties between India and China has improved thanks to all the tariff and all of those things which are happening. Our ties have got better, right? So something will happen in terms of the reorderization of the global trade which happens, right? But still, US is large. We need US. US needs us. We need to have a good deal in between.
That concern is there for sure. But do you think this whole story of India becoming a manufacturing hub of the world will remain a pipe dream? Because it's something that has been on, the talks have been on for a while, but somehow it's just not getting there. And forget about being a manufacturing hub for the world. I mean, now most of the companies are, just about producing for, in terms of quality, in terms of efficiency, just about producing well for India. Why do you think that is? Why has India fallen back so much in the global manufacturing landscape?
I think the focus was never there on manufacturing. I mean, you see last 2 or 3 decades, no new plants,
But it's been over a decade now that the focus has shifted to manufacturing, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, so even if you talk about the recent past, I think a lot of front loading has been done by the government, right? So they've been spending ₹1 trillion every year, giving confidence to private sector that, set up new plants, set up new capacities. They know that manufacturing is very, very important for our economy because that also creates employment that will strengthen the backbone of the economy. So you see there are 2 or 3 reforms which happened. One, they cut taxes. Corporate tax has been cut from 35% to 25%. Means extra cash in hand of companies to reinvest in the business. Why was it done? Basically, to give confidence that go out there and spend money or build capacities. If you create a new factory, then the taxes go down even 10% down to 15%. For startups, they are giving zero tax up to 3 years. So this is all the tax reforms they have done to give confidence to the private sector. Right, the production-linked incentive schemes now running into 12 sectors. Right, that is extra incentive for the goods you manufacture, and you get extra revenue through the government incentive scheme. That is also to push manufacturing, right? And then government spending 10-12 lakh crores to build roads, ports, airports, metros. That's. I mean, we've seen good infrastructure coming up, right? You should travel sometime. Honestly, you should go for a Bharat Yatra. See, I do.
Actually, I travel a lot with work now.
Yes. So how do you find? Let's say you go to the tier 2 towns. Go to Bhubaneswar.
So recently, I went to. We went to Mathura.
I'm from Mathura.
Yeah, I know you are from Mathura. Yeah, we went actually to Vrindavan for a shoot.
Yes.
And the Yamuna Expressway, I went for the first time.
You had with
Manish.
Yeah,
it was fabulous.
Good interview. Yeah.
Thanks.
Fabulous, right?
The roads.
Vrindavan has changed. Vrindavan, just the mandir wala part, leave it alone. It's too claustrophobic out there. But outskirts is all the Marwaris and Gujaratis have changed the landscape out there. The buildings and the roads and
a lot of developers coming now.
We have Taj Hotel coming out there. I think it's come up. I don't know. So,
but I was quite pleasantly surprised to see the roads. Definitely, I mean, it was my first time on that Yamuna Expressway.
Sonia, is still better. You go to Mathura. I've seen Mathura from my childhood days. Right, we go there every year. sanitation, electricals, roads. And it was a complete mess. We used to hate going there in the summer vacations, right? Today, it looks very different. I mean, we used to have all those electric wires hanging around outside our homes. People used to take our light and put in their light, that kind of stuff. In the last few years, all those things have gone underground, right? There are electric meters outside our home. We used to never pay electricity bills.
But
Now
a
there are
lot more
electric
can
meters.
still be done, given that it
Of
is
course.
the spiritual
See, that's what I'm
capital.
saying. That is the opportunity. That you have so much to do. So till such time you continuously keep developing, things are going to look good. Economic activities will be very high, right? So I mean, let's say you look at airline. Now look at US. We are a large country. US is a large country. China is a large country. US has what some 6,000 aircrafts. We have maybe 600, 700 aircrafts. US has airport even in small towns. I went to US a couple of months back to drop my daughter. I went to this little island. I'm missing the name in Cleveland. Small island, no cars out there. So you go by ship or you go by boat, and in that island, basically you have the buggy cars. So you travel that island you rent a buggy car and travel around. That small island also there was an airstrip. So all the rich Americans actually they take the charter plane and it's like summer place. So there are a lot of nice bungalows. Now India though is just coming up, right? So how many airports can we have? How many aircrafts can we add? And we've seen so many orders. So that this runway to growth, runway from our Prime Minister says that from a developing country to developed country, that 20-30 years of runway to growth is the opportunity. Won't be secular, won't be all goody. In between, you'll have patches. Risks are there. But for that risk, you get a premium in terms of returns.
Because even if you look at tourism, right, since we're talking about tourism, I agree there's a lot of development. But even if you compare India to say smaller places like a Vietnam or a Sri Lanka,
it's nothing.
Places in Africa, places in Russia, India is
nothing.
very
And we have so much to offer
compared to
we have so much to offer. But because of infrastructure, because of safety, security, I think still. I mean, I was reading actually. I think this time around, Bengal has seen maximum international tourists because of the Durga Puja. It's been put on the international festival list, something like that I was reading in the paper. But you're right that our tourism is still a little messy.
A lot more work needs to be done, honestly.
Definitely. When you travel and when you go abroad, like places like Sri Lanka also, we did our recent offsite out there. It's pretty developed. It's pretty okay.
One would not expect.
Facilities are good. Out here is a little disorganized.
It is.
Like, we are used to it, but imagine somebody coming from outside here and you get out of the airport and from there only the journey starts. But I think tourism will take, this industry will take some time. I think it will take some time. And there has to be something to be done to ensure that, I mean, of course, this government keeps talking about, so you see the way the Ram temple has come. Now you see in Ayodhya, almost 100,000 people visit every day out there, right? So domestic tourism is moving up, and domestic tourism is also expensive now, right? International tourism, I think, will take time. Still, you get tourists in maybe Rajasthan or Kerala. I don't think anybody comes to Maharashtra for tourism, but they'll go to maybe.
Goa has also reduced a lot.
Goa has reduced quite a bit, I think. Yeah, but I agree with you. A lot needs to be done for international tourism.